I've executed on the price ladder ever since I started trading. The main advantage is probably speed and also simplicity. It's a very easy tool to execute on. Main pattern is I look for rigidity in probably the bid and offer, so there'll be reloading, just to ensure that I do know there is some strength in the buying or the selling. That's the main pattern that I'll use the price ladder for. The ability comes from just hours in front of the screen really, and getting that intuitive feel. I don't think there's any hard and fast rule to becoming an order flow trader, but apart from just putting in the hours and observing. I think I can get a feel for the conditions from watching the ladder. I can feel generally when there's some momentum in the market, or if the market's very slow and quiet and it's more dominated by algorithms, market making type price action. I wouldn't say the price ladder is the only tool I use, but to become proficient and competent in the price ladder, it probably took me a good couple of years of intense, watching it for day in, day out. The toughest part is probably dealing with the setbacks. As a young trader, you can get momentum quite quickly and quite early, but then dealing with the ongoing setbacks is probably the hardest part. For me, it's very variable. If it's quiet, then I can sometimes look to scalp the market, in which I'll be in a trade for 30 seconds to a couple of minutes maybe. Or if I'm looking more for a positional momentum type trade, I could be in a trade for a couple of hours. So the longer term trades aren't affected as much by the noise in the price action, whereas a shorter term trade, if you're just looking for 2, 3, 4 ticks, as soon as you see the momentum in the short term shift against you, then that's probably time to exit. I do add to my positions. Generally they're on technical plays, and I try to add them around sort of inflection points on the technical pattern. So I'll be utilising support, resistance, sort of areas of inflection, where I can get an asymmetric risk reward on all my on all the extra ads that I am doing. I think I could still trade the short term. I think when it's quiet midday, I think you don't really utilise charts that much if you're looking to scalp the market. But longer term, it would be very difficult without the charts. Because I think the price action and the price ladder is really a tool to give you conviction in what you're seeing in the charts. A good habit to performing well with order flow and understanding order flow, I think, one is being at your desk and having a good level of focus and getting rid of distractions. And the other would be the deliberate practice, so recording your screen and also talking to other people about it, getting other people's opinions. But ultimately it's a very personal skill. I think everyone reads the order flow differently. With the algos, I believe that it actually increases our edge to a certain extent. I think not all algos are proficient and are always profitable in doing the right thing. So they can create opportunities for the intraday trader, I think, for mispricing and certain order entry patterns that these algos do that can become readable. So I do think, the algos haven't taken away the edge of the discretionary trader. Well, I wouldn't think I've gotten too much older, but I haven't noticed it really. I think as I've gotten a little bit older, to be honest, I've probably had better focus, being able to stay in tune with the market throughout the day without dropping my focus. So. The advice I'd give would just be to stick at it. It's always changing and you're always adapting to new order flow patterns, and I think constantly staying adaptable, but working hard and making sure that you're spending time on your order flow and your execution techniques, not just on chart patterns or risk management and things like that, but to actually deliberately practice your order flow techniques. The parts of my routine that help me psychologically manage myself throughout a day are probably just the structure of when I'm focused and watching the market, and then times where I take a break, because I think it's important to get away from your desk throughout the day just to reset. And I have my routine set that I'm at my desk and focused for the core hours of the day. Then when it quietens up, then I can take a break, get some lunch, get some water, just to refresh myself and refocus. My trading edge is always evolving. I've only been trading now for about 5 years, but already in those 5 years my edge has completely changed. I'm executing completely differently to what I was a year ago, 2 years ago. So I'm always updating new patterns, new skills, new order flow techniques. But yeah, it's always adapting to the changing environment. No, I take into account the longer time frame analysis. I think the order flow over days, weeks can give you a lot of information, and I think put it into a broader context, you can sort of see shifts in the market dynamics. I think firstly from changes in the personality of the price action, and I think that's a huge edge that we do have as an individual discretionary traders, and I think being able to change your approach quite quickly when you do see the changes in conditions in the order flow. My biggest struggle is when it goes really quiet and it's kind of dominated by market making sort of price patterns, and I find that myself personally is quite random and quite hard to read, and also around roll as well can be very very volatile and quite random in how orders are executed. So they're the probably two most difficult times I find in trying to read the order flow. Well, it's a tough one, but I think based on the intraday conditions, sometimes if it's very quiet and you've noticed a lot of bids and offers being pulled, there's not much really going through the market on a volume perspective, and then all of a sudden these big orders start coming up, a lot of the time that's when you'll be more prone to think that they're fake, as opposed to if the market's quite got a lot of volume and it's quite volatile, then if bigger orders are chasing the market, then quite often more likely to be a real order. But yeah, I think basically understanding the differences in conditions and what conditions produce more fake orders and what conditions produce real orders. I probably use the price action more as a bias and a feel for the day. I'm not too specific in my edge on the price ladder, but I generally use it to tie in with my technical bias.